Are you a fan of The Celebrity Apprentice? Well, if you are, you just may have seen my next guest. He's the former CMO of Kodak, and he's responsible for one of the biggest business turnarounds in history. In fact, Forbes magazine has dubbed him the celebrity CMO. And now Jeff Hayzlett is with me, and he has authored a new book. It's called The Mirror Test, and he's sharing his business expertise, marketing savvy in this book. And in fact, a lot of the experts are saying it's a reflection of sheer marketing genius. So Jeff, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you very much. It sounds like something Donald Trump would write, probably.
Doesn't it though? I know. Well, you kind of know Donald.
I do know Donald, and that's his real hair in real life. So.
You know, I've had the pleasure of meeting him myself. He's really a lot taller than...
He's very big. He's a very big guy.
Yes, he is. So anyway, so we'll move on and not talk about the Donald because we want to talk about you and the book, The Mirror Test. Why did you write the book?
Well, you know, people were coming out of this recession. I thought it was time for us to talk about something to get us going again and talking about growth. And we all learn when we're Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts to find out when you come across a body that might be injured, you hold a mirror to their mouth to see whether they're going to breathe or not. You know, we had to do that at Kodak. I think a lot of businesses out there have to do that for themselves. You know, will the dog eat the dog food? You know, why are you in the game? And you really have to take a look at yourself and look in the mirror and really ask yourself some very hard questions, and that's really what the whole book is about.
That is really tough because when you look in the mirror, and I guess you just have to be brutally honest about what's happening in your business, and when you're building it and you're running it and it's your baby, that's got to be a hard thing to do.
It is tough, but that's what leaders are supposed to do. You know, at Kodak, my job was to create tension wherever I was at, to move everybody from the center of the table to the edge of the table and really get them going, get that innovation back in the company. And business leaders need to do that. And I found myself, you know, sitting in meetings going, someone ought to do something, and then finally realized that's me. And so that's the way it is for most small business owners. You're not only the CEO, but you're also the chief listening officer, or listening to this stuff going out in social media as well, or whatever it might be. And you really got to look in the mirror and say the person staring back at you is responsible for it.
One of my favorite lines is I always say, as a small business owner, you take out the trash and collect the cash. So you do it all
exactly
right. One of the things I found interesting in your book, though, is, and I've been in business for many years, I won't say how many, but you talk about ROI, which we think of as return on investment, but you give it a new meaning. So what?
Yeah, well, a lot of people come to me and they'll say, Jeff, what's the ROI on this campaign? And mostly financial people. And I'll say, I don't know, I'll tell you what the return on investment is when you tell me what the return on ignoring is. Our primary job should be in marketing is listening to customers. Our primary job as business owners or leaders should be listening to customers, capture customer behavior. And so, you know, a lot of people are going, well, with this social media stuff, why are we investing money? Why are we doing it? Well, you want to listen to your customers. That's what you should have been doing all along, but we've moved everything to a 1-800 number with the press 1, press 2, press 3, and we still don't listen to customers. This is giving us a great way to do that, and it pays off. It's OPM, other people's money. It's a great way for you to be able to utilize new technology, new ways of doing things with an old return to it.
I saw a research study not too long ago about competitive comparisons and differentiations, and it said that really most CEOs, if you ask them to say their key differentiator, that they just gave real standard marketing buzz messages. Exactly. So what you're saying is really this will help you define that.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the biggest concepts in the book, The Mirror Test, is the 118, the new elevator pitch. And that's really what a lot of folks are getting to, and they're picking up on it. At Kodak, I had hundreds of people coming in to sell to me, and they would be 30-page PowerPoint presentations. At the end of the hour, I still didn't know what they did. So I said I wanted to redefine the elevator pitch, make it called the elevator pitch 2.0 or the digital version of it, and I call it the 118, and it's real simple. I found out 8 seconds is the average attention span of any adult. It's true. I looked at.
That's really sad, isn't
well,
it?
I
thought it was just me with my ADD, but okay.
It's everybody, and I found it to be true because it's on the internet, right?
Okay,
and we got to believe everything
gotta
there.
Believe that.
Right? And then 110 seconds is the average elevator ride in New York City. From the time you press the button, wait for it to show up, doors open, you step on, ride up or ride down, and get off. So that's it. You have 8 seconds to grab my attention, 110 seconds to sell me. And that's really what you should be doing. That 8 seconds should be some kind of statement that gets that lean-in factor. And we all know what that is, being in business for ourselves, or when you're selling something. When someone starts leaning into the conversation, that's really important. And then the 110 seconds should be around closing me. Tell me the value statements, the unique value statements or proposition that you have for your business that's different than everyone else. Don't waste all your time telling me, oh, I work with Coca-Cola, I work with this company, I work with this company, I work with this company. I could care less. Tell me what you're going to solve for me. You know, if Moses can do it with 2 tablets of 5 bullet points each, you know, a business owner can do it in a lot less time because they got something a lot easier to sell.
I agree with that 100%. One of the other things you say, though, is for a business owner to step back and examine and answer 3 questions of the 3 reasons why you're doing what you're doing. Let me turn that around on you, Jeff. What are the 3 reasons you're doing what you're doing?
Well, it's always been the same for me, and I learned this very early in life. I've been an entrepreneur. I've worked for major corporations like Kodak. This was the longest job I've ever held, for 4 years and 1 month, when the average for a CMO is 19 months, so I stayed on a lot longer. But for me, it's 3 things. 1, am I having fun? That's got to be a key for me. 2, am I building wealth for my family? And the 3rd thing is, am I growing professionally? Am I getting what I want to get out of it intellectually? And so for me, those are the 3 key questions. And I think it should be the same for most business leaders and most business owners. And if you're solving those kinds of things, well, I mean, that's a blast. And you got to have them all.
You also talk about the importance as business leaders of being aware, but as running a business, as we talked, you're busy doing so many things, you're just the day-to-day operations. How do you lift your head up and really become aware of as a business leader?
Well, you have to take some time to do it. Whether, you know, I always say in business, I don't know what I don't know. And so I want to know the things I don't know, because that's where I find the aha moments. That's where I find the things that I can go out and do or add to a product or add as a service, you know, or listen to my customers. So take the time, whether it's every Friday, when I used to own a printing operation in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where I would pick up the phone and call 10 customers and say, hey, we delivered jobs to you this week. How was it? Were you happy? Were you displeased? I mean, I'd want to know those kinds of conversations. Now you can do it with social media. Do, you know, word searches to find out what they're saying about you online, because they're saying things about you online, and you want to know those things. Or if you're in a public company, check the chat rooms, do a lot of those kind of things. You'll find out a lot about your company you didn't know existed just by being unaware.
And actually, you are on social media. You're everywhere. I love to follow you. What's your Twitter handle?
It's at Jeffrey Hayzlett, Hayzlett. I'm one of the top 10 C-level executives with Twitter, and I love to do it. It's a great way for me to keep in touch with my family, and now with lots of fans of the mirror test.
Yeah, I keep up with you. I know where you are just about all the time, so that's wonderful. But what are some of the mistakes that you're seeing business owners make? I just read something recently, out of all the Fortune 500 companies and all the accounts out there, so many of them are stagnant.
Well, they're stagnant, and that's one thing. So you're not being, you know, real in terms of being timely. So timely is one thing, because you want to continue to be timely, but more importantly, you want to be authentic. You want to be real. And with social media, you're going to have to be extremely transparent, because you're going to be found out. So if you suck in real life, you'll suck online, and that's the way I like to describe it. You know, if you're a jerk offline, and then you're a jerk online as well. So those are the kind of things you want to think about as you move forward. So all those little things that are hidden, not being online, will certainly show up in social media. So you want to be very authentic.
You know, I think that one of the things that people ask me sometimes is, well, I'm doing all these things, but I'm not converting them into sales. But really, it's about networking in cyberspace. I mean, it's building relationships.
It's about building a relationship, building a community. That's what you want to do. You know, I can go out tomorrow and make you an overnight success with a viral video. I can do that. Given the time and the money, that's what I do for a living. Now, but the key thing is, they'll leave you just as fast as they came to you. So why not take the time, build a community? And what I talk about, don't worry about eyeballs and ears, worry about hearts and minds, and build those hearts and minds over time. So it's about building that community. But I can tell you, it will lead to sales. And for those people who don't think it doesn't, you're crazy, because you can sell things. I mean, be searching for people who are looking to buy a product that you might be selling or a service, and then contact them. Be outrageous a little bit. Go ahead. People don't mind that. People like to be contacted. People like to build friends, and that's what you want to do.
Well, and before you go, we talked about your Twitter handle. You also have a website. What's your website?
Hayzlett.com, Hayzlett.com, and that's where you can pick up the book and learn more about where we're at.
And I have a collection, that's why we're sitting in front of this big bookcase, of great business books. So I hope before you leave you'll autograph your book for me so I can add it to the collection.
Love to sign yours and everyone who buys one, you bet.
Okay, great. And just so that you don't have to remember the website, it's hayzlett.com, but we will have a link to that website on our homepage, which is itsyourbiz.com. And remember, when you're there, you can get more tips, advice, and resources for helping you succeed in your business. We want to stay connected with you.